Yo, what is up guys, Cousin UDT is back and we're going to actually be diving in the competitive world of Fortnite tournaments. And if you're wondering how the pros are so consistent in dominating and ranking up those victory royales, you are in the right place, because I will be breaking down the top 5 strategies that Fortnite pros use that actually made me win a solo victory cup. So if you are interested in improving, don't forget to smash that like and sub button and let's jump right in. What separates pros from the casual and the normal players? Now, what I found out all pros have in common is they actually set themselves up for the win. Now, what does this mean exactly? This means they always have a competitive advantage that contributes to them actually winning and getting that victory royale. Let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to talk about is mastering drop spots. Pros carefully choose their landing drop spots because of an advantage. This may be because of medallion, because of a mythic weapon for loot, safety, or for mobility. Example of this is actually an FNCS winner, Peterbot. As we see, he lands at the Wrath because of the medal and because of how overpowered that weapon AR is. They often pick these locations because it best suits their playstyle. You're probably wondering why they always have the best drop at these locations. This is because they only stick to that landing drop. And because of this ensures them the best drop in every game and the best loot path. Now, changing your drop spot is important. Sometimes the method changes and you need to switch up. Originally, I landed at the Underworld just so I can get that NPC scanning ability and to get that AR. I switched my location because recently they took away, so I had to go Mount Olympus. And then I was thinking I need a competitive advantage. Now I switch my landing drop to the Castle Doom. The reason why I land here is because it's the best drop and it's so underrated. My loot part is one of actually the best. The reason why I say that is the best landing drop because it best suits my playstyle. I'm very aggressive. I like getting stuff done fast. So I land, I get an AR, shotgun, full shield, and I get mobility of the use of the broom. Then I just head over to Dr. Doom, quickly eliminate him. I get that coin and I get the Monarch pistol. So that is the reason why I actually land here, because it gives me a competitive advantage since I have 2 medallions. Then there's a launch upright where I can just rotate anywhere I want to go. That is the reason why I land here, and landing at a drop spot is super important because you have to start off your game landing somewhere that has a lot of loot and you are comfortable landing at that place. So the next thing I want to talk about is efficient loadouts and the use of a bunker. Now, as we know, we all have preference in certain weapons. Example, I like the Gatekeeper over the Hammer Pump or the Sovereign. Now, as we know, pros prioritize certain weapons and weapon mods. This is why the bunker actually gives you such a competitive advantage, because now you can actually customize your weapons to best suit your ability. Example, everyone puts a drum mag on their Gatekeeper, or putting a thermal scope on your striker AR, which in my opinion, a thermal scope on your striker is probably one of the best ARs, because now it gives you an advantage, especially if you in in-game and you're sitting on height. You can actually see through people's walls and you're going crazy with that. This gives you an advantage because now you actually have more bullets, you can reload faster, and you have less recoil, making your aim smoother, and now you can put actually more pressure. Now, along with this, we actually have the mobility items like the Flowberry Fizz, berries, the Witch Broom, and actually the Chainsaw, which are actually the only rotation items in this meta right now. So rotation is super important, and like 90% of the time you can actually find them in the bunker. So it's super worth it if you like go to the bunker, full box it out of hard mats, especially you don't want to build out of wood, metal, and you just camp that bunker because that bunker gives you such an advantage. That's why we see a lot of pros actually fighting for the bunker. Tip 3 is game sense and positioning. Now, pros have excellent game sense, knowing how to push, when to push, how to hold, and how to rotate. In this situation, I actually got aimbotted right there, and I actually had to put pressure so I can hold the opponent. So actually, pros do this by avoiding unnecessary fights unless they are confident they are going to win, often using the Storm's edge and the positioning to avoid getting pinched. Now, this is where the forecast tower comes into play. But before I begin, we are halfway through the video, so if you have any questions about how to actually improve, comment it right down below, because I will be answering 2 in the next video. Now, the reason why I won the solo victory cup was because I had the biggest advantage over all my opponents. Pros like Peterbot, Polo, Clicks, and Vino were actually fighting for, you probably guessed right, was the forecast tower, as you can see in the top right on the corner. The forecast tower is literally your best friend in this scenario, especially when you're in high elo. In tournaments, having this tool allows you to see future zones, allowing you to rotate and get to the perfect position and perfect location, so you can actually put so much pressure. You control the high ground and the fight now. So the next thing I actually want to talk about is actually rotations. In competitive Fortnite, rotations are key because pros excel at rotations in the late game, the mid and the early game, using minimum resources and positioning themselves for high ground and strategic plays. So in this situation, you need to actually know how to rotate safely without getting damaged or revealing your actually location. Now this is where you actually have to be creative and come up with a creative idea on the spot to prevent you from getting damaged and rotating into the next zone. So in this situation, I was in the solo victory cup and I noticed that the train was actually coming around the whole map and it was going to come to the location that I am in right now, and it was actually going to go to the future zone. So of course I hopped on in the train, hid in the corner, and it actually rotated me all the way from the Doom's Castle all the way to the raft. That was the perfect rotation right there. Now we're actually going to move on to the in-game rotation, how to actually do in-game rotations. Again, having the forecast tower always comes into clutch, and having the use of a Flowberry Fizz and a nearby launch pad gave me the best rotation possible, where I could actually get the best possible zone pull and gain high ground. Now the use of Flowberry Fizz is super important, and we're going to link this back to tip 2 of having an effective loadout. You have to be carrying Flowberry Fizz or some sort of rotation, guys. This ensures you get the best possible zone pull, especially with a witch broom, because I've seen a lot of pros be using that witch broom and it's absolutely going perfect. One of the best rotation items we have had this whole season. Now the last tip I want to talk about, tip 5, is, you probably guessed it right, the importance of high ground. So all your favorite pros are always on height. You always see them on height. And why is that? Height is the best possible place you can be, because first, you are protected and you can now control the game. Controlling the game is essential, especially if you're in endgame, because the guy that is on height, when he's putting pressure and you're trying to rotate, you ain't gonna get nowhere. The guy in height always controls the game, and also you have a bird's eye view of everyone around. This means you can put so much pressure so quickly and get some quick, easy eliminations, because your opponents are going to be more focused on rotating safely while you on height not letting that happen. So keeping it high ground is always super important. As we know, if you watch the FNCS Globals, many players were always on height, and out of all the games, there were so many players that actually won just because they were on height, except for the time where Peterbot was going crazy and he's just insane. But height always matters. Now, it is super important to have good awareness in this situation. You don't want a little flopper trying to contest you on high ground, because now what that is just going to do is just going to waste time. It's going to waste time, resources, and a little bit of your health if you're going to try to take some damage. So you could actually convert that time into putting more pressure and actually racking up more elims. So this is why you need to put so much pressure that those little floppers can just fight at the bottom while you're sitting and controlling height. Now height is super important, not just in solos, but in almost every single tournament and game mode, because everyone is going to be focused on more trying to get to the zone, and you are basically just safe right on the top. So I use the height in my advantage, especially when I'm playing solos. I won a solo match in the Solo Victory Cup, and I actually won a match in the Trios Cup with me, Serti, and Talal, using this height to such an advantage. Now, if you didn't make it this far, please don't forget to like, sub, put notifications on if you don't want to miss any of my videos, and send this over to your duo if you need some of these tips. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.